Ladies and gentlemen, gather close because tonight we're stepping into a truth so sharp, so illuminating, it will change the way you see the world around you. Picture this. You're climbing a mountain step by step, heart racing, hands gripping the rock, pushing past every obstacle. You reach a peak, a place of triumph, and you turn to share the moment with those you thought were with you. They're smiling, nodding, but there's something in their eyes, a flicker, a shadow. Their lips curve upward, but their hearts are heavy. Why? Why do they smile but hate your progress? Hold that question tight because we're about to unravel a mystery that will set your spirit free. Let me take you somewhere for a moment. Imagine a young eagle born in a nest high on a cliff. It's small, fragile, but there's a fire in its wings, a yearning to soar. The other birds in the valley watch it, chirping, fluttering, content with their low branches. But this eagle feels a pull, a call to the skies. It stretches its wings, it leaps, it falls, it tries again. Day after day it trains, it strengthens, it rises. And one day it soars higher than the trees, higher than the cliffs, touching the clouds. The birds below, they smile, they nod, but their eyes are cold. They're not clapping. They're not cheering. Why? Because your progress exposes their comfort. Your flight reveals their fear. Your ascent reminds them of what they've chosen not to do. You see, my friends, progress is a mirror. When you move forward, when you chase your dreams, when you break through barriers, you hold up a reflection to the world. And not everyone likes what they see. Some will smile to your face, say the right words, pat you on the back, but inside they're wrestling. They're wrestling with the gap between where they are and where you're going. They're wrestling with the courage they didn't summon, the risks they didn't take, the dreams they let die. And that smile is their mask, hiding the discomfort your progress stirs in their soul. Let's pause and feel this moment. Look around you. Look at the person next to you. They're listening, nodding, but they carry a story. A story of moments when they achieved something great, a job, a goal, a dream, and the people they trusted, the ones they loved, smiled but didn't celebrate. Maybe that's you. Maybe you've built something extraordinary, pushed past your limits, created a legacy, and yet the ones you thought would shout your name are quiet. Their smiles are polite, their words are careful, but their hearts are distant. Why? Why does it feel like your progress is a problem for the very people who should be lifting you up? Here's the first truth I want to plant in your spirit tonight. Your progress doesn't need their permission. Say that with me in your heart. My progress doesn't need their permission. You were not created to shrink so others can stay comfortable. You were designed to rise, to expand, to fulfill a purpose so unique, so powerful that only you can carry it. The moment you start dimming your light to ease their discomfort, you betray your destiny. The moment you slow your pace to match their rhythm, you surrender your calling. You, my friend, are not here to make others feel safe in their stagnation. You're here to soar. Let me tell you something else. That smile you're seeing, it's not always love. It's not always support. Sometimes it's a shield. Sometimes it's a strategy. Sometimes that smile is their way of staying close enough to watch you, to measure you, to wait for you to stumble. Because as long as you're climbing, as long as you're winning, you're a reminder of what they could have been. You're a living, breathing challenge to their excuses. And that's why they smile but hate your progress. Not because you've done wrong, but because you've done right. Not because you've failed, but because you've succeeded. Let's go deeper. Why do we care about their smiles? Why do we notice their eyes? Be honest with yourself. There's something in us that wants to be loved, to be accepted, to be celebrated. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's human. But here's where we miss it. We start looking to the wrong audience. We start seeking approval from people who don't even know the stage we're on. We start craving validation from those who don't understand the script of our purpose. You're out here writing a novel and they're reading a pamphlet. You're building a cathedral and they're stacking bricks. No wonder their smiles don't feel right. They don't even know what they're looking at. Let me paint a picture for you. There's a young woman, let's call her Lisa. Lisa grows up in a neighborhood where dreams are small, where the goal is to survive, not to thrive. But Lisa's got a vision. She wants to start a school, educate children, change lives. She works hard, studies, saves, sacrifices. Years later, her school is standing bright, beautiful, full of laughter. Children are learning, parents are grateful, the community is growing. But back in her old neighborhood, the smiles are tight. Her old friends say, "Oh, that's nice," but their voices are flat. Her family says, "Don't get too big now," with a chuckle that stings. Does that mean Lisa's not progressing? No. It means Lisa's progress is shaking the foundation of their comfort. Now let's flip the script. There's a young man, let's call him James. James loves music. Not just any music, but music that speaks, that heals, that inspires. He's not chasing fame, he's chasing impact. He writes songs, records them, shares them. His music touches hearts, shifts minds, builds hope. Thousands listen, but back home, the smiles are faint. His cousins say, "That's cute, but when are you getting a real job?" His old friends like his posts, but never share them. Does that mean James isn't progressing? No, it means James is moving at a speed they can't keep up with. Here's the suspense I promised you. What if their smiles are not your problem? What if their discomfort is not your burden? What if the tension you feel when they smile, but don't celebrate, is actually a sign that you're on the right path? Stay with me. When you're progressing, when you're growing, when you're stepping into your purpose, you become a force. A force that disrupts, a force that challenges, a force that inspires. And not everyone is ready for that. Not everyone can handle that. Their smiles are their way of coping with the truth that your progress is rewriting the rules they've lived by. Let's talk about timing for a moment. Your progress has a rhythm, a pulse, a flow. It doesn't follow the world's schedule. It doesn't bend to their expectations. You might look around and see others getting smiles for less work, for smaller dreams, for safer paths. And it hurts. I know it does. But let me tell you something. Their smiles are fleeting. Their approval is shallow. You're building something deeper, something stronger, something that will outlast their fleeting grins. Your progress is not a sprint. It's a marathon. And marathons aren't won by the loudest cheers, but by the steadiest steps. Let me ask you a question. Who are you progressing for? Really think about that. Are you progressing for their smiles, for their approval, for their acceptance? Or are you progressing for the vision that burns in your soul? Are you progressing for the legacy you're leaving, the lives you're touching, the purpose you're fulfilling? Because if you're progressing for their smiles, you'll always be empty. Smiles fade, smiles lie. But if you're progressing for your purpose, their smiles won't shake you. Their silence won't stop you. Their discomfort won't derail you. Now let's get practical. What do you do when they smile but hate your progress? First, you protect your vision. Guard it like a treasure. Don't share your dreams with everyone. Not every smile is safe. Not every nod is sincere. Share your heart with those who see your purpose, who value your progress, who will lift you higher. Second, you focus on your lane. Stop looking at their smiles, their eyes, their words. Keep your eyes on the path ahead. Your progress is your compass, your guide, your truth. Third, you release the need for their approval. Let it go. Their smiles don't define you. Their discomfort doesn't limit you. You are free to rise, free to grow, free to become. Let me tell you a story. There's a woman who loved to design. Not just clothes, but creations that told stories, that carried culture, that spoke of beauty. She wasn't famous, wasn't wealthy, just a woman with a needle and a dream. She sewed every night, sketching, stitching, pouring her soul into every thread. Her neighbors smiled, said, "That's nice," but their eyes wandered. Her friends liked her designs, but never wore them. She kept designing. Why? Because she wasn't designing for their smiles. She was designing for her purpose. Years later, her work graced runways, changed lives, told stories. The world smiled, but she didn't need it. Her progress was her victory. Here's where the suspense builds again. What if their smiles are a test? What if their discomfort is a signal that you're closer to your destiny than you realize? What if the tension you feel when they smile, but don't celebrate, is the very thing pushing you to grow stronger, to dig deeper, to rise higher? My friends, you're not just progressing, you're becoming. You're not just succeeding, you're transforming. And the world will catch up. But you don't wait for the world. You keep moving, keep growing, keep progressing. Let me take you to another scene. Imagine a farmer planting seeds in a field. He works under the sun, under the rain, digging, sowing, tending. The villagers pass by, smiling, saying, "Good job," but their voices lack warmth. They don't see the harvest yet. They don't understand the work. But the farmer keeps planting. Why? Because he knows the seeds will grow. He knows the harvest will come. Sometimes your progress is like those seeds, hidden, unseen, but growing. And their smiles don't water the seeds. Your faith does. Your work does. Your purpose does. Let's talk about the power of persistence. When they smile but hate your progress, persistence is your strength. Persistence says, "I don't need your smile to keep going." Persistence says, "My purpose is bigger than your discomfort." Persistence says, "I'm not here to please you. I'm here to fulfill me." Every step you take, every goal you reach, every dream you chase is a declaration of your persistence. And let me tell you something. Their smiles may fade, but persistence will make them see you. Now let's address the heart of it. Sometimes their smiles hide pain. Sometimes their discomfort comes from their own struggles, their own fears, their own regrets. And that's not your fault. You don't carry their pain. You don't fix their fears. You don't heal their regrets. You pray for them, you love them, but you don't stop progressing for them. Your progress is not their burden. Your progress is your gift. And when you keep moving, when you keep growing, you show them what's possible. You show them they can rise too. Let me share another truth with you. Their smiles teach you who you are. When they smile but don't celebrate, you learn to celebrate yourself. When they nod but don't cheer, you learn to cheer yourself. When they watch but don't believe, you learn to believe in yourself. Their smiles strip away the noise, the expectations, the illusions, and leave you with the truth of your purpose. And in that truth, you find your power. In that truth, you find your voice. In that truth, you find your progress. Let's talk about legacy for a moment. You're not just progressing for today. You're progressing for tomorrow. You're progressing for the generations that will follow you. You're progressing for the people who will look at your life and say, if they did it, I can too. Every step you take, every barrier you break, every victory you claim is a brick in the foundation of your legacy. And legacies don't need smiles. Legacies need action. Legacies need courage. Legacies need you to keep going, even when the smiles are empty. Here's a question to carry with you. What if the smiles you're seeking are already inside you? What if the validation you're craving is already in your heart? What if the celebration you're waiting for is already in your spirit? You don't need their smiles to know you're progressing. You feel it. You live it. Every morning you wake up and choose to chase your purpose, you're progressing. Every night you rest knowing you gave your all, you're progressing. Every moment you refuse to quit, you're progressing. And that, my friends, is a victory no smile can steal. Let me take you to one final scene. Imagine a sculptor alone in a studio, chisel in hand. She carves, she shapes, she creates, pouring her soul into the stone. Nobody's watching, nobody's smiling, but she sculpts. Why? Because the sculpture is her progress. The sculpture is her purpose. The sculpture is her joy. And when she finishes, standing before a masterpiece, she doesn't need the smiles. She's already won. You, my friend, are that sculptor. Your life is the stone. Your purpose is the chisel. And every move you make, every step you take is your progress. So what do you do when they smile but hate your progress? You keep sculpting. You keep climbing. You keep soaring. You keep progressing. Because the truth is, the smiles will come. The celebration will come. The recognition will come. But you don't need it to know who you are. You don't need it to know what you're worth. You don't need it to know you're progressing. You are enough. Your purpose is enough. Your progress is enough. And as I leave you tonight, I want you to hold this close. Their smiles are not your measure. Their discomfort is not your limit. Their silence is not your defeat. You're progressing not because they're smiling, but because you're living the life you were created to live. So stand tall, my friends. Keep running, keep growing, keep shining. The world may not smile today, but your purpose is smiling. Your future is smiling. Your legacy is smiling. And that's all the approval you'll ever need.